Guys, there's this quote that I use and I wanted to give credit, and I saw it first on a YouTube channel that I really like, and I looked it up, and I'm not sure if it was a martial artist who said it or the US Navy SEALs who adopted it. Come on, let's be for real. So I don't know, but I'm not accusing anybody. I'm not trying to accuse anybody of anything. I'm just speaking. Enjoy the video. What's up? It's late. You know, it's almost tomorrow. And I was gonna wait. I really was, bro. But, I'm not going to. I'm just gonna make it right now. So how's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. So I wanted to come on, oh my God, I wanted to come on here. I wanted to talk about learning. Oh my God, learning, right? Yeah, dude. Do you know how to learn? Do you know how to learn? Do you know how to learn? Do you feel how do you feel when you hear the word learn? Okay, think about that. No wrong answers. Yeah, the wrong answers only. No, it's just no wrong answers. I think this is gonna be longer than the normal 5 that I try to aim for, right? Anyway, got a few notes. This is so different because usually I just talk at the camera, but I literally had so much. Bro, oh my God, bro. So we're all doing something different because I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? You're gonna be like, because this shit is small and illegible as fuck, but we're gonna roll with it, you know, because you roll with shit. But you know, it's whatever. That's like charged. That's really charged. I don't know. I was just like thinking about things, and then I was like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, okay, so one of them was multiple choice, bro. Multiple choice and learning. And so it's like multiple choice is multiple choice, but is the multiple choice multiple choicing in a way that makes sense for the relationship that the question is asking you about? And so I was trying to think of like a sciencey chemistry one, but I was like, girl, that was under rote memory, so that's long gone. But plants, I kind of remember a little bit more of that shit, even though, you know, I haven't been keeping up on it as much. So if the question is like, what color are plants? Okay, and then you have, and plants are all colors, right? All colors. So I guess I should be more specific with this one. See, I can't even come up with a question, but basically you can say plants are any color because they are any color. Maybe if you were talking about what was the function of, that's better. Yes, the function of the plant color. So you can talk about trees, you can talk about any green sapling. Okay, what are we talking about? Photosynthesis, and green is going to accept the range of the ultraviolet light spectrum that is going to help photosynthesis happen and shit like that. We're just gonna keep it real basic, bro. I don't want to get caught up right now. So there's that. We're 3 minutes in, so there's that, right? But with other plants like peppers, they have carotenoids, right? And so these are orange reddish pigments that start off green that mature into a red color and contribute to I don't want to say that they contribute to a sweeter taste. Maybe that's what it is, but we're going with broad strokes for what I'm trying to say here. So the thing is the multiple choicing in that way where it's having you think about why different colors are present in plants, and that's the fruit actually. So I was talking about the fruit of it. So that's even another layer of that question. The thing is the multiple choice actually helping you break things down and think about it in that way, or is it kind of more answer rote driven, you know? And if that's the case and you got like a dud option on the multiple choice, why wouldn't you question everything else altogether? Like, that's dud. Like, that's super dud and doesn't actually help me in any way understand colors, the function that colors play in like plant growth. Roger, y'all know Roger, right? Regulate, bro. I'm not gonna do that shit. That's too much for me right now. But if you know Roger, you know Roger. And just basically like how living things continue to produce progeny for however long until the environment doesn't support their life anymore, right? So how does color play into the function of how plants plant and how fruits fruit and why they fruit that way? Because there's a reason, right? And so there's that. So if you have like a dud answer on a multiple choice, why wouldn't you question the whole multiple choice? Why are we doing multiple choice this way? And why should I care about this? Like you sometimes you just gotta think about that stuff. And who made the test? You know? And it's like, are these things that are even being presented to me as fucking important? And we all, you know, everybody wants to get on math. You know, in America, everybody else has maths, right? Why the fuck are we learning the unit circle? Which is very important, right? That's important. That's very important, actually. But everybody's like, why are we learning this? So that's the thing. What I'm trying to say basically in this long-winded example, I might put a timestamp if you don't want to deal with that. But it's kind of cool and kind of important, you know? And so that's just me needing to have more faith in what I'm saying, because there's a reason why I'm saying it, bro. I'm on one right now. Literally. So much. Like, there was so much. I was like, oh my goodness, right? And so as I've been trying to like learn and implement new things in my life, I realized that while I was like in the process of learning, I was always projecting what I felt like learning should look like and what roadblocks should look like, and literally visually what I should look like I'm doing as I'm learning something, which I was like, that's a crazy thing to do, as I am literally collecting active data on the process that I don't even realize that I'm collecting, like in my subconscious, you know? And you gotta trust that. You gotta trust that your brain knows how to brain, is like what I'm saying. So there was that. And then like also with some of these things, I've actually been able to like be consistent and have like a timeline where I did these things consistently. But then I came to a roadblock where I was like constantly doing like the minimum to kind of keep the streak, right? And so what I was realizing is that I've reached a point where it's no longer just kind of that initial like momentum or push or motivation or, you know, beginning passion, you know, for doing something, beginner's luck, or, you know, when you first start something, it's very satisfying, exciting, but, you know, eventually you have to keep that going with other things. And so I was realizing that, oh, this is actually when me just holding myself accountable and having discipline and routine, which are very scary words, you know, is actually going to play a big role in me continuing to do these things that I care about. A big barrier for people is like time, right? Like time is huge. It's like, I don't have time to do it, right? And the truth is, like, yeah, myself included, it's like if you really break down all the passive activities that you do, you have time. But once again, that's a habit that you already have. So you slowly but surely, like making space and time for you to pursue something new or for you to do something different takes time. And that's why it's super important to make sure that you are really invested in something that you're doing or pursuing for your own personal interest in some way, shape, or form. Like, you don't even have to know too much, because it's like, bro, what do? You start it. You figure it out, right? And that's when it's got to be for the spirit, for the journey, for the learning that you learn as you're going, the things that you learn about yourself as you are doing something new. Because it's new, bro. It's new. I was like, you eventually get to a point where you have your learned experience or data that you have. If you know, it depends on where you're at with like dissecting and like thinking about, yeah, your past experiences and what you've learned from them. There's a point where you can no longer apply that, or where it's kind of dangerous to project what happened in the past to new things because it's new. You know, so you gotta like, oh, and another great example that actually helped me when I was like, alrighty, bro, I gotta go. And this was when I was like, okay, I need to transition from school, like community college, to something else, right? I had like, so this was last year, so spring quarter, I had a rough quarter. It started out strong and then it said, and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck happened, girl? And it was, yeah, we're gonna call it an unmentionable. So I had 2 unmentionables in a row and I was like, okay, well, I think we got to think about something else. But it's the way I came to that. Because I also had the opportunity. I was like, dude, I have this great opportunity. I have this fucking internship and I'm super excited about it. And I had the best time at that internship and it was a great experience. Like, I really enjoyed that and I love talking about my project and explaining that to people. That was really nice. And like and the potential, like you know, it was sick. And just also learning about the realities of what an internship is, and the reality of that and how that goes sometimes. So all like valuable experiences. And what I realized being there in that environment, whether I completely felt like I belonged there because of the quarter that I had. Don't knock yourself if you have a bad quarter, by the way, or if you don't do that shit. Just learn, bro. It's all a process. It's all a process. And the point, I'm low-key diverting from what I was about to say, but I'll remember I was talking about being in that environment. Okay, I'm just putting a pin in it so I actually remember. But and then I forgot the point that I was gonna make. It's like, you want to literally be, oh shit, somebody's coming in the door. You literally want to get to a point where you're less self-aware. Like, you're less self-aware instead of more self-aware, because you're aware. You just don't have to be aware of the awareness, and you got to trust what you're doing and trust the process and trust things to happen cyclically and organically, and to not be so results driven. Okay, because we live in a world that completely skews process and everybody feels it, which is why everybody's like drained and tired and shit. So there's that part of it. So the point when you're truly trying to organically learn something for yourself and your process in doing it is to really try and become less aware and kind of let all those other emotions come in, all those other things that you may be feeling come in, because it doesn't help to suppress those things. It does not help you. It helps to let them have their time and space. In those moments, you got to make space for it, which means you have to make time for it. And that's a process. That's why it's important for you to like actually give a shit about what you're committing your time to, because it is a dedication. It is a commitment. It is. So, yeah, that's why you want to know that for yourself. So, low-key lost my place again, because I low-key lost my place again. But, yeah, that's all very important as I'm filling. I don't know, but, I just paused it and went back and was like, what were we talking about, girl? So, you want to make the space for that, like, as you're learning. So, like, you know, you practice the way you play, right? But not necessarily. You just want to be aware and open to the fact that everything and all the information that you're getting is not necessarily going to be cerebral. It just depends on your organic flow and how that evolves over time based on what you're doing. It's unknowable. It's uncharted. You learn as you go, right? So that's what it is. And like, that is what it is. And you make space for all those feelings as you're like practicing, and then whatever go time looks like for you, not like your idea of what that means based off of what you've seen or what you've heard about what go time means. Like, kind of putting those feelings away and focusing on your craft and what you're doing may be a little bit easier for you, because you already have made space for those feelings and you pushed through it. You kept going. You kept going. Like, you kept going. There's like this YouTube, I know it's not even his quote, but it's like this calisthenics like YouTube channel. It's called Strength Side. And something he says a lot, it's not his quote. It's not his quote at all. I know that because I saw it again on Pinterest and I was like, that's not your quote, bro. But that's not the point. The point is that it's like knowledge and you just pass it along, bro. So the quote is, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Cause yeah, I mean, what is like an all or nothing like burnout session going to do? Like, is that sustainable? No, but like slow, steady progress that is smooth. And what does smooth mean? Like getting more familiar with a setup that you need, getting familiar with a prep, how preparation may be important for you, understanding how feelings play and how your environment plays in your likelihood to do something, learning how to work through your blocks. That's a smooth system. That's a system where you've kind of identified some things for yourself and then you're making a strategy to kind of move past those things, right? So that's slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And I left my notes over there. But yeah. Bro, I'm just gonna go grab the notes. It's literally a ramble session. But you know, we're all doing different things. This is never seen before. Like, we've never seen this sort of video. No, I haven't seen this sort of video from me that's gonna get posted online, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah. And yeah, just literally be nice to yourself, because you literally are there for everything that you've ever gone through. So as much compassion as possible, the nicer, you know, you can be to yourself and still be accountable to yourself. Like, you got to toe that line and, you know, fumble and fail to know what that is like for you, but you're learning. Do that for yourself, because it's not like you don't, because like I personally was in a place where I was like, oh man, you know, it doesn't matter, like they don't care who's watching. You're watching, you know, you are watching. You are like, you have the power to be like your biggest enemy and at the same time your biggest fan, because you know all there is to know about you. And so that's like a very big responsibility to yourself, you know, and you can take it or leave it, you know. So there's that. I feel like I pretty much got all the shit. Yeah, I'll circle back around to the multiple choice one, but the idea literally is not perfection or having all the answers. It's literally like, bro, my phone died, and so I'm like this rim you're seeing, so this is a speaker and it's like a wireless charger, and I'm literally holding this bitch up like this, bro. This is real home video, but we persevere, right? And it's happening. We're doing what we set out to do, aren't we? Anyway, and I'm realizing I did forget about that chemistry, the chemistry example. And so being in that lab and like understanding how these people were thinking through, not these people, but yeah, no, but they are like, they're like beautiful, smart, amazing people. Like, it was fun. I had a great time, and like in the lab. Okay, I'm just gonna stop there. But yeah, I had a great time, and seeing how everybody thought about these problems, I was like, dude, Naomi, you can like chill the fuck out, because if I'm going for a postdoc, you know, and then I do research somewhere else, the advice is that your postdoc is not what your doc is. Okay, it's supposed to be entirely different. So if that's the case, it's not that you need to know shit, that you need to have knowledge about something. It's asking you to have a blueprint itself for learning and to be able to find solutions to problems. That is what research is. And I'm like, well, if we're lifelong learners, let's just go ahead, copy paste. Because that's the answer. That's oh my God. That's the test answer, okay? That's the test answer. Okay? That's it. That's it. And so it's about knowing how far data from past experiences is going to take you into something new, and intuitively knowing when you need to jump and take a leap of faith, you know, and learn as you go. I already said it before, but it's not about perfection. It's about initiation, aka FAFO, FAFO, fuck around and find out. Like, or shit's never gonna shake. You just, a part of learning is like being a steward of the process, or, you know, leading with thought a little bit more, not necessarily this kind of rote autopilot thing we all got going on, you know, because I put some water on. Can my long arms reach and turn off the burner? Or I could low-key turn off the camera, but okay, we're good. Very simple. But it's the way. It's like literally the way. But yeah, that is it. You gotta fuck around and find out. And you're never gonna have the answers for anything. Who has all of the answers? It's not about having all of the answers. You just have trust in yourself and your abilities, and really try and become less self-aware. Like, you have no idea how wrong you could be about the things that you think about doing and how that's gonna go, because you've never done them before. You don't know what surprises can be had by just doing something and, you know, taking that next step, you know, and working through the blockages. Because everybody's here to learn. Everybody's here. You have no idea what you can truly get out of a process, which is why it's important to have some sort of personal interest or like genuine personal stake in the things that you pursue, because you're going to be fed either way if you let yourself, you know. So become less self-aware. That's it. That's what got me pretty far, because I had no idea. I just thought, bro, I'm a messy motherfucker. It is what it is, you know, because that's always how it's been, you know. And like, look at this. Did I know that my fucking 10 months, 11, ooh, bro, when did I post that video? I don't even know, man. Probably like a year ago. That first like little 40-second clip. Did I know that my YouTube would be this? Did I think I would be saying my YouTube? Not really. Not like this. Absolutely the fuck not. No. But you know, shit happens, and it's like, okay, bet. But who was I betting on? Myself, bro. Myself. Okay? Like, you gotta be kind to yourself. So just, yeah. Literally. And you also gotta think sometimes with the multiple choice, why is this being put in front of me? Like, you can completely disregard shit. It's like, this is being put in front of me as if it is supposed to be important to me. But is that so? Is it? Like, if you see one dud multiple choice answer that doesn't make sense and doesn't even suit you for how you want to go about learning and being your most authentic self, why not question the whole thing? Why question yourself? You know, like, for all the masks and the outfits that we've all put on and all taken off, and all the conflicts that we have by doing that to ourselves, and it's all growth. You can only know that because you've had those experiences, and if you take the time, you can recognize what that is and do differently for yourself. It's not about better, but differently. There's what happened, what you learned, and more outside of that. That's always waiting for you. Like, that's the great thing about choosing what you want to do. So, like I was saying, so for all the masks and all the suits that everybody puts on, where they force themselves to kind of, actualize this sort of like outward projected goal onto them, or things that they feel like they need to be, why wouldn't you betting on yourself and following your passions and things that you want to do? And passion, and that's the thing, it's not just like this fiery, like, oh my god, this is like the coolest thing, like you go-karting, right? But then it's not as fun when you go around 6 times, it's just not as fun. It's like having passion for something is sitting down with it, right? And understanding that to go forward, sometimes you have to go backwards. And that's just simply the truth. That is literally reality. It's not, and especially if it's something that you care about doing, it's not anything that you ever have to think too much into, because you're being fed the whole time. You're learning and you're growing the whole time in a way that is truly personal and valuable, and like something to hold on to and be proud of, because you're doing it for you. Like, that's huge. That's huge. So, yeah. It's about knowing that. Like, it's a process. Like, that's what it is. And so anything worthwhile is gonna take routine and work. And that is not a myth. But there are a lot of other myths in the way that things are fabricated and presented. They're not even true. They're not even true, bro. There is nothing, like, me, not even, like, even Zernalia. There's very little that you have a complete picture on. There's always something more. So that's important. I thought that was super great. That's really helped me focus on the blueprint. The blueprint of learning, the blueprint of trust, the blueprint of like doing your own research, and however that looks. I don't even know research. But yeah, I guess we did keep it pretty science forward. So yeah. This was a different kind of video. I literally ranted, and then I'm just talking about what I did at this point. I ranted. Missed the chemistry bit. I don't know. We're just gonna post this and see what happens. It's an experiment, bro. And it's like, for all this shit, that's also another thing. It's like, if something is what it is and what you want it to be for a long time, you're going to have lots of tries. Lots of tries, right? So a normal bell curve distribution. And then you have your standard deviations, right? Bro, we're doing this shit. This is happening. Okay. Right? Over lots of data, over lots of tries, that's what it has. Your outliers, and then that sweet flow spot, and then what you can generally expect from that. But maybe you don't want to be there. Maybe you don't want to be thinking about that shit. Maybe you just want to literally fuck around and find out and have fun because it's your life, and fuck other people's opinion. And you just got to be on that shit. You just got to be on that shit, y'all. So have fun, bro. Do something that you want to do. You don't need all the answers. And once you feel that way, you won't have such a tight ass. Like, okay, now for some jokes. So I was walking today and I was thinking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And it was talking about Cameron and his journey. And you could totally, bro, it's such a good movie. I mean, there's the whole... Anyway. So he's like, Cameron is so uptight that if you stuck a lump of coal up his ass in 2 weeks, you'd have a diamond. So there's that. It's like, do you want that? No. You just wanna, chill, chill. My phone's a little bit more charged. We had a storage issue, but we fixed it. But either way, I'm just gonna redo it because I messed up the accents anyway. So the second funny thing that happened not too long ago was like a smell of shit, because the cats poop. They do their things, which is fine. But then I was like, that's a little bit more potent than usual, until I go check, and I'm pretty sure it was Fabi. And this shit's not covered. I'm like, why didn't you cover your shit? And then I'm remembering the Vine. Everybody knows this Vine, if you know Vine. And it's like the two sisters. One of them's like, we're gonna sing Charlotte by Charlotte. Oh. And then she's like, and don't forget all the trouble we got into. It's their mom, right? And she's like, which one of you didn't flush the toilet after you've had a shit? Disgusting, right? Right? So I haven't thought about that in years, but I saw that and it made me think of that. So just imagine there's like shit in your head that you didn't even know that you could use, or that you can make a funny moment out of, or that could be like directly applicable to whatever you're learning, or just make your life funny. So just imagine, like, if you're in your element and doing your thing, and like random shit that you didn't think, but you didn't think about it. That's the thing, because your brain's braining, and like a big part of it is just knowing you can learn. Like, you can learn and believing that you can learn. That's the first step to learning. Okay, kids? Bro, okay. This was actually a very, very fun form of video. It's like long, but it's like a fun form of video. So I'll see y'all later, okay?